So I feel like we should do characters and then ships because the ships kind of includes characters.
Sure.
Okay. So I guess let's just do them. Let's just tackle them in order. And like always, I know that this is going to take a little bit, but I'm going to have to reorganize these because it always bothers me that these stupid tier lists go from red being the best and green being the worst when it should be the other way around.
Yeah.
So we're going to call these. What should we call them?
Just S.
I'm going to call it S. I'm going to call the bottom shit tier. No, I'll be honest. I'm going to call the bottom one Aqua.
So we're doing characters?
Yeah,
That's
we're
what
doing
we'll start.
characters. I'm sharing my screen. You should be able to see it on the Discord. So
Yeah.
Aqua,
So are these KH original characters or like including Disney ones?
uh, is it unredeemable or irredeemable?
Irredeemable.
Let's see.
One
Irredeemable.
second.
I think this. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, it's double R. Irredeemable. I'm such an idiot. Okay, so we got irredeemable. Not great. Okay. Good. And the ones who will open the door.
I'm back, team.
Okay, so here we got the tiers go from worst to best. Aqua, irredeemable, not great, okay, good, and the ones who will open the door is the top tier.
Okay. So my do you want me to send you my list or do you have it open on another tab?
I have it open, but did you do this same
Okay.
exact one?
Let me see. Yeah, it looks like it. Like those are largely the same. Yeah, those are the same pictures.
How about here? How about I actually have a better idea. You keep yours up, and I won't look at it. That way, it won't influence
Okay.
my vote, and then we'll go through them one by one. Crosshead. Let's be real. Are any of these gonna make it above C tier? Looks like just OCs. Yeah, I kind of hate that they never include like the Disney characters because like some of the Disney characters are way more important than some of these are OC characters. But oh hey, Isaac,
Yeah.
what's up?
Hey, so I'll be honest. I
Yeah,
had 9 tiers for this.
you had 9.
I had 9 different tiers.
Well, because right now we have S, A, B, C, D, F, which seems kind of fair to
So
me.
you have
Do you want to add more?
2, 3, 6. I don't know. We'll. How about you working on it the way you want to, and then yeah, we'll compare.
Well, because I want to kind of wanted to talk about it like character by character.
Okay.
So I guess let's just
Here.
start.
So do you want to talk about the character, and then I tell you, or you decide where to put them on your end, and then I'll tell you where I put them.
Yeah, actually, that sounds yeah,
Okay.
that sounds good. Okay, so Terra. The thing about Terra is that I feel like the community is very split. I feel like Terra used to be one of the most hated Kingdom Hearts characters. People like would always make jokes about him and stuff like that. And I feel like recently people have been turning around and like there's a lot more Terra defenders nowadays. I still don't think he's like one of people's favorites. I still think he's the least popular out of the Birth by Sleep trio. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm leaning towards okay, honestly, which would be a B in this case. A B seems kind of high.
Really?
Maybe C should be maybe this should be okay. And then you know what? I'll change it from Aqua. I'll say irredeemable parentheses Aqua. And then these ones will be not great. Okay. We'll go good. And then what should this one be? In between good and the ones who will open the door. I don't want to just do great. Let's do
I do think do just say top tier, I guess.
I know, but I want to kind of make it something funny, like something Kingdom Hearts related.
Level 99.
All right. In that case, yeah, I'll put him in C, which would be okay.
Okay, so you want to talk about it first, and then I tell you.
I mean, I kind of talked about it. Go ahead. Maybe we can
Okay.
influence each other. Who knows?
Sure. So I think Terra is kind of tied as far as like the best characters of that trio.
Okay.
I feel like Ventus is really only interesting because of the whole like connection that he has with Sora and stuff.
Right.
Otherwise, he would be a pretty bland character, and then they're doing this whole thing with him in Union Cross, and I haven't kept up with that, so I don't really know why he's significant there. I feel like you and I both agree that Hawk was the worst.
It's funny that you mentioned the Union Cross thing because I was taking a quiz with Angie the other day. It was like
Yeah.
ultimate Kingdom Hearts knowledge fan quiz, like for hardcore fans only type thing. And we
Hmm.
got to this question in Birth by Sleep, and it was like, who is the oldest member of the Birth by Sleep trio? And of course, we were like, obviously it's
Ven.
Terra, right? Because Ven is 16, Aqua's
Oh,
18, and
sure.
Terra's 20. And then at the end,
Yeah.
they don't tell you the answers until the very, very, very end. And I was like, they got us on a technicality, those
Yeah.
motherfuckers.
Yeah. Yep. So, but I really like Terra the most out of the three. I like this whole kind of like Anakin Skywalker thing that he's got going on.
Right.
It's a little bit tropish, but I think that it makes him the most complex of the
Hmm.
three characters. And with kind of like how he realizes at the end of BBS, he's like, okay, I have done a lot of crap, and I need to fix it. And it's basically like obviously they all reflect other characters from the other trios,
And
like
Aqua literally
Sora.
reflects when she blocks.
Yeah, literally. So Riku, Terra, Aqua, Kyrie, and so. But so he's kind of like a precursor to Riku, except it's basically like, what if Riku wasn't able to come back? You
Right.
know, like what if Riku? So that's why I really do like Terra. So I have him not in my highest tier, but in the one right below that, just
Oh
because I
wow.
really like the city there. I do think he could have been written a little better, but I faulted that more on just Kingdom Hearts writing and less on like his actual character.
Right. If we're ranking them like based on Kingdom Hearts standards, I would say he's also yeah. Okay, so if you in this case, I guess you would have had him in level 99. So I guess we'll balance it out and we'll put him in
Yeah.
good. What I
Okay.
was gonna say is that I feel like what also really hurts him is the fact that he by far has the worst gameplay. So he's the least fun to play as out of the
Yeah.
three characters, and some maybe that might taint people's opinion on him. But okay, I think good is good is good. Good is good enough.
Good is good.
Good is good. Okay, so next I don't know what this is like a weird order to have these characters in, but next up we got Ericus. Um I mean we don't really get too much of Ericus, obviously. He's just kind of like sends his pupils out to go do his bidding for him, and then in the end he's like, well, I guess I have no choice but to kill Ventus, and he didn't even really try to like do anything else. I understand it's like apocalyptic and whatnot, and so he felt like,
Hmm.
but like it would have been interesting if we got to see that conflict within him of he's like, oh, but like this kid that like I basically had to raise and whatnot, and now I have to destroy him because it'll, it's the only way to save the universe or whatever, and we never see any of that. We just kind of see him turn. I'm tempted to put Ericus in not great.
Okay.
I
So
mean, I also don't like. I mean, what we don't have to like get super into like the story of like the games and like what's that. But I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the fact that like at the very end, he's kind of like all buddy buddy with Xehanort, and then they both go into heaven together.
yeah, no, that was
Uh,
really stupid.
it's kind of silly, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. So
So
go ahead.
so my 2 cents is I also like him a lot with what little he was given.
Hmm.
He's one of those characters where it's just like it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for him to exist after the one game he's in,
Right.
right? Like, because like, what else is he gonna do? You know? So I feel like he did leave a lot to be desired, but with the role that he was and like what he was trying to do for the story, I also really liked him for that. So I put him at the bottom of A tier. So
Damn, bro.
he's on the same. Yeah, I have him on the second highest, but he's on the very bottom of the second highest. Like
Okay,
I
so
wish we got more of him, but I like that's not really super realistic.
I think in that case it would balance out because you said it would be either good or okay, but you said it was towards the bottom, so I'll put him in under okay. The other
Okay.
thing that about Ericus is that he's the closest. By the way, Cross is saying Ericus goes in D because his name is dumb. Well, that's where I had him, but yeah, I forgot that Xehanort gets plus. Oh my god, I hate that on YouTube, the little heart like thing that you can send in the chat blocks like the newest like part of the newest message from me. That's so annoying. I wish I could get rid of that. I
I
forgot
don't
what
know what you're
Xehanort
talking about.
gets. So like there's like this thing kind of like on Instagram lives where you can like send hearts and stuff like during the live
Oh
stream.
yeah.
And on my chat, it's blocking it's blocking part of the newest message. It's really annoying. It said forgot that Xehanort gets plus something into Keyblade Heaven. It's dumb, but whatever. The other thing I was gonna say about Eric is that he's like the closest thing that people point to because obviously like everyone has this vague idea of Kingdom Hearts being as like, oh, like It's, you know, dark and light, neither is good or bad. It's the balance that is like whatever. Even though we never actually see that in the entire series, we
Right.
all
Well,
the
aside
good
from like Riku and
that,
Zero,
well, okay,
but
that's what I was gonna say. It's like all the good guys use light, all the bad guys use dark. The one exception is Riku, who doesn't even use darkness; he uses both and is a good guy.
yeah,
But the closest that people say to like people misusing light or using light for like not great purposes is Ericus. Even then, he's still like a good guy and he's doing stuff for a good reason. I guess you could make the argument that like Xehanort also in his mind is doing stuff for like a justified reason, but his are a lot less justifiable. So
yeah,
it is what it is. All right,
Yep.
let's keep it going. Otherwise, we'll be here forever. So, Vanitas, Vanitas is another one of those that I really like in concept. I
You're gonna
remember
hate
that
me.
during one of the streams, during one of Jacob's streams, someone in the chat was talking about like Vanitas in the manga and like how like they flesh him out a lot more in that. I also just don't like the fact that he's constantly calling Sora brother or Ventus in Kingdom Hearts 3. But I would put him. I would put him in okay. I think he's better. I would say he's better than Ericus in my opinion.
Okay. I'm just gonna say it, and I won't elaborate.
It's gonna be S tier. It's gonna be S or
It's
F.
S tier.
Yeah, there it
It's
is.
S.
And he said he's not gonna elaborate, so I guess we'll balance it out.
Yeah, moving on.
I can't, in good faith, put him in level 99, bro. I'm gonna put him in good. Sorry. All right. So next up we got.
Remember, I have 9 tiers, so I divvied these up.
No, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Next up, we got Zigbar Brig Lushu. I think in my opinion, that's the first S. That's the first one who will open the door. Just because he's fun. Like, I like his voice. He's funny in, like, Kingdom Hearts 2. He always knows more than, like, everybody else. Even as far back as, like, KH2, he was referencing stuff in Birth by Sleep. There's a part in Days where, like, he looks at Shion, I think, and sees Ventus. And he's like... And you think like, oh, like he's always referencing future games, and then you find out that he knew even more than that, with his connection to obviously being Lushu and being like from the time of the foretellers and stuff like that. The fact that like we still don't even know the full capacity of his story is like interesting. And the thing is too that there was people that, if you go back, have been speculating this for like a long time. So it wasn't just like an out of nowhere thing. I mean, for for some people it might have been, but like I personally knew like YouTubers and streamers who like had been speculating that Zigbar was in some way, or Lushu or whatever his like proper name, I guess his proper name would be Lushu, was connected to like the old Union Cross stuff, like even since before back cover came out. And I also just want to point out that he's missing an eye, and so is the Master of Masters technically.
Yeah, but that's also isn't the canon reason for that because Terra hits him?
No, I know. I'm just being silly. It's because obviously like the master and the master's not physically missing an eye. It's just that it's his eye, quote unquote, in like all the keyblades and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's where I would put him.
I have him in B tier.
Okay.
Because I like him. Okay, so here's the deal: is I really like Zigbar, and I really like Lushu. The fact that they're the same person complicates it a little bit for me, because I'm like, it works so well. It's just, it gives me this like a little bit of like an icky feeling in the sense of like, I don't know if that's something that like I would have necessarily done. Not that like that's like the golden ratio standard. It's just like, okay, this is genuinely a pretty good plot twist. It's just, I don't know how much, with everything else that's wrong with Kingdom Hearts 3, part of me is like, I don't know if this is one of those things or not. Like, I'm still trying to kind of make peace with what about Kingdom Hearts 3 I actually like and what's more like tolerable. You know what I mean?
Funny enough, I think Olovitz just posted a video about his thoughts on Kingdom Hearts 3 didn't meet my expectations. He just posted it like literally today. So I might have to check that out after I'll have to check it out after the stream. But what I was gonna say is I can kind of see what you mean, because also the characters are like, they're not the same character, and I understand that like people grow. I mean, God knows how long he's been alive for, hundreds of years. I do kind of just like his like carefree attitude. There's something to be said though about like characters that still act kind of like silly and stuff, even though they're like these immortal beings that have been alive for forever. But you don't know, because obviously like nobody is immortal in real life, so you don't know how people would act for having been around for that long. Would they be like jaded? Would they who knows? But I think he's a fun character. Like if anything, I'll put him in A to balance out, because I put S and then you put B. I think he's cool, and I'm glad that like we're looking forward. I'm glad that he's still going to be in the series going forward. I have said before how I felt like his addition in Birth by Sleep felt very forced, but
Okay.
even though I still think that that is literally true, like in terms of how like it was literally forced within the actual physical like real life writing, in the lore they did find a way to justify it because he was trying, in theory, to
stay
insert
with
himself.
Like,
He was trying to insert himself into the story.
yeah.
Literally, it's like oh, it felt a little bit contrived that he just so happened to be there, but I guess it's because he was already there in the future games. But it's like nah, because he wanted to be there. He made sure that he was there because he was involved the whole time, and he was the one that eventually somehow passed on Xehanort's Keeley to himself. Cross is saying, I felt like all my KH lore memories are getting unearthed right now. I forgot like all of the stuff, but it's flowing back to me. It'd be like that. Cross, it'd be like that. Okay,
yeah.
Let's move it along to one that I don't think either you or I have a lot of opinions on. Dylan or Zaldin. I mean,
well, Dylan is my daddy, so
there it is. There it is. He does have
no.
one of the best hairstyles in the organization. In the when it is the KH2 organization, not the post like Birth by Sleep or KH3 one. I mean, I would say that he's just. I would say he's just okay, honestly. I mean, he's got a little bit going on with like how he wants to like manipulate the beast and how he was so fascinated by that. But outside of that, like, there's not really too much going on there.
Yeah, like after Kingdom Hearts 2, he just kind of falls off.
Yeah, even in like Days, he doesn't really do all that. Again, I think it's interesting that they gave him like that sort of fixation that he was just so interested in the beast and like wanted to like sort of convince him and like and I know that they did that just because he was there in KH2. His boss fight is cool. His weapon is really cool, but like he doesn't really have much of a character, so that's why I just put him in okay.
Right. So out of my 9 tiers, he's in my 6th, like going downwards. Because
so I think that's about where I put him, more or less.
Yeah, like equivalently, yeah. Just because like he doesn't do a whole lot. Like yeah, after Kingdom Hearts 2, he's obviously in Days, but it's just like what else?
And
like,
then he doesn't even talk in Kingdom Hearts 3. They didn't even hire a voice actor. It's so sad.
Yeah, exactly. DBS and Kingdom Hearts 3. I think he was technically present in Dream Drop.
Yeah. I think him and either that or they just mention them by name.
Yeah, but yeah, they just don't do anything after Kingdom Hearts 2, and they're not going to come back as any kind of like meaningful character. So I just Who knows? He just doesn't do much. So I had him in my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, my 7th. Sorry, my 7th tier downwards.
Yeah, I think that's about the same as where I got him. Maybe even like one lower, but yeah, close enough. Okay, next up we got Vexen. Again, Vexen's one of those characters that like obviously he's annoying, but I feel like he does a good job of like I don't know. I would much rather see Vexen than Zaldin on screen, if like that type of thing. I wouldn't go as far as to say that he's good. I feel like he serves a good purpose within the story. He shows you that the organization is evil with like how he just mistreats the Repliku and stuff like that, and how they don't really care. And then he also shows you how much they don't even care about each other with his death scene. That is probably one of the most brutal death scenes in all of KH, where he's literally begging for his life and then Axel just defeats him.
Just killed him.
Does that make him a good character individually? I don't know. I'm glad that he's included in the games, but like I'm not going out there and like, I'm not like the biggest Vexen defender. I'm tempted to put him at like the top of okay. Yeah, that's where I would put him.
So I have him like smack dab in the middle of my tier list. So
that's about right.
On my tier list, on my tier list, I have that row called indifferent. So it's just like there's good qualities, and then there's qualities that either I just think are bad or kind of like I could do with or without. Like it doesn't really make a whole lot of a difference.
Right. I feel like my indifferent would then be okay at that point, because it would either be at the bottom of good or at the top of okay, and I feel like top of okay is fine. Cross is saying Jake out here, like I put Zaldin at position -82, -487, 0.2 on my 3D vector. You've got the exact. He's like 4th from the left on the second to last tier on the first row. Okay. Lexaeus / Alias. I'm tempted to put him at not great, honestly. Like, he doesn't do anything. He doesn't have much of a personality. He's only in one of the games, really, and not even in the main story, but in like the secondary Riku story. His boss fight is not like super memorable. His powers are not really all that memorable either. He's just kind of he's there. He's a spot filler
Yeah,
in the organization for me.
yeah, exactly. So I have him paired with Zaldin
I think Zoldan's
for
better,
Dylan.
personally.
I agree. I agree. Just out of like style and boss fight stuff, I would agree. But
And
as
he's at
far
least
as
got a
like,
little bit of story with the Beast thing. Like,
yeah,
Lexius has nothing.
doesn't do anything. Yeah. So I've got them paired. I just have them both in the they don't do much tier.
Mm, I kind of want to leave him in not great, honestly.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
that would be
And similarly speaking, we've also got Zexion, who I would say is a bit better than Lex. I'm just gonna here. I'll put him above, like for now. I think he's a
uh,
little bit better than Lexi is. He still also doesn't really have a lot going. He once again serves a similar purpose to Vexen, where he's like killed by Axel and Repliku, but he doesn't do anything outside of that game. I guess in KH3 he's kind of like helps out a little bit. He's like calling Sora on his phone and whatnot. And then there's like the whole implication of Birth by Sleep about how he like lost his family and had to be taken in by Ansem. But again, we never get to see any of that. It would have been cool if we did, but we don't. So I can't really give it points for like hypothetical story that happened off screen, like just off screen. Oh, it's happening right there. We could just barely not see it. Oh, that's so tragic. Which is again why I'm tempted to put him in not great. His boss fight is cool. It is always super rewarding whenever you're like doing that thing where you're in the middle and there's the 3 spotlights and it goes down to like the different ones 13 times and like you get it right on the 13th and roll to it. Like you seem like such a god whenever you do that and pull that off, like, right? But it's very gimmicky, obviously, and how he traps you in the book world. So like all that together, I don't know. I think I would also put him under not great.
Yeah. So he's in my I don't really care category.
Is that below the indifferent?
Which it's below indifferent, but it's above they don't do much with Zaldin. So he's between Vexen and Zaldin.
So which is where I have him pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, sort of. Yeah. But yeah, equivalently as far as like the tiers and rows go, yeah, you got him in like the similar.
All right, cool. Let's move it along then. So next up we got Syx. I feel like, or Iza. I feel like he's another interesting character, because obviously once again, there's a lot of like implication for stuff that happens off screen.
Right.
But with this time, it's a little bit more in depth because like you individually see like how he reacts to Axel, and then in Birth by Sleep you obviously see how they used to be friends when they were younger, and then in Days you get to see how like the whole like you're the one who's changed like type of thing where they kind of had a falling out. I don't really like that in KH3 they just sort of resolved it like all willy nilly. They were like, and we're friends now again, like whoop de doo.
They do that with like all of the organization members.
They kind of do, and honestly, they even do it with like some of the new organization. Like people argue with me about this. I know that Xemnas and Ansem are not like redeemed at the end of KH3. I know that like they don't like forgive them for everything, but there is this moment of like them kind of like accepting their fate, which I guess in hindsight maybe I do kind of like that. But it did seem a little bit weird to me how like at the end of KH1 and at the end of KH2 it's just such a brutal like couldn't care less about you guys, like good that you're dead type of thing. And then in KH3 it's like, oh, we had good memories and whatnot, we may not have agreed all the time, but I guess it's like, well, all right. But anyways, going back to Isaac, I think that the way that their story is going with the whole like possibly Strelitzia thing going on is interesting. I don't like that they kind of pulled it out of nowhere. It does once again sort of retroactively explain why they were originally recruited into the organization, because it's like, why did these random like teenagers that were hanging out on the Radiant Garden end up in the organization, and why were they snooping around in the castle? And it's like, well, now we know. Even then, I would put him in good. Personally, I think I would put him in good. Probably above Vanitas, if just because his fight is really fun and I hate fighting Vanitas in every single iteration that he's ever had.
So I have him in my it's the equivalent of my C tier. So that's like, I'm really interested, but like there's not a whole lot necessarily to chew on, but I'd be down to like find more out about.
I agree.
Right?
I feel like that sums up my feelings too. I have him in B, you have him in C, so maybe I should put him a little bit lower then.
Yeah, underneath Vanitas. Yeah.
Cross it at the end, though. We should average out all the characters who are technically Xehanort. Oh no, and all the characters who are technically Sora.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, those are literally the names here. Dean, don't open it, but I'm gonna post my tier list in the YouTube chat.
Yeah.
So Cross can literally see the name of these.
I don't. Wait, here, hold up. I might have to mod you for you to be able to do that. Add as moderator.
He can just copy and paste the link. It would work.
That's true. I could just do that. Here, let me do that.
Well, you don't have to do that.
No, well, the thing is, like, your chat is not going to show up if you send it and you're not modded, I think, because you're not allowed to post links. But I'll just post it there. So there it is. Okay, so next up, I think this should be uncontroversial. Axel, the one who will open the door. I mean...
I have Axel in my B tier.
There it is. And there it is, chat. Go ahead.
So I like it a lot. I don't know. It's just the other... So I have 10 characters ahead of Axel. I just feel like there's more for me to like and appreciate about those characters than there is for me to like and appreciate about Axel. I like Axel a lot, but I like these other 10 characters more.
I feel like I really like KH2 and Days Axel, and I feel like ever since then he has gotten so soft. I do not like KH3 Axel. Like, I feel like he's first of all like really kind of a non-character, and he just sort of turned into this goofy like oh wait, someone just messaged me. Oh, Angie said I'll be on stream soon, just making myself some food. Maybe she'll be able to join us for one of the next tier lists. We'll see. Seeing how half the KH characters are in there, I understand. Okay. So okay, for that, I'll maybe I'll knock him down to level 99. I am still gonna put him above Lushu though. But I feel like he just has such a good Days Axel is one of the best KH characters.
Love him. I love him in Calm, Days, and 2.
And Calm as well, yes. Past that, they just kind of didn't really know what to do with him. I wish that he would have just stayed. This is the problem with the KH series. They never let anyone stay dead, and I feel like it's kind of tainted his character. I do not like KH3 Axel at all. I wish that they just had left him how he was.
Even Dream Drop.
Yeah, he just kind of came back for like really no reason. So okay, I can kind of see that.
He's like, the name is Lee now. And no one calls him.
And he just got the Keyblade out of nowhere, even though I think his chakrams were like way cooler. But like, okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay, so next up we got Sora. I feel like Sora is once again hit or miss. Sora has his moments, obviously. I mean, being the protagonist of the series, he's going to. But he's also got a lot of really dumb moments, like pretty much all of Dream Drop and like parts of. I feel like Sora's another one where like the further the series goes, the less I like him. I feel like I really like KH1 Sora. And like moments of KH2 Sora, and then by the time we get to like Dream Drop and like KH3, he's got also some moments of KH3, but as a whole I would say that like the list of like great moments like has diminished the further we get into the series. Derek is saying haven't been here in a hot minute. What's up, Derek? What do you mean you weren't hyped to see Axel and KH training arc? We didn't even see that though, was the thing. We didn't even get to see his training arc. And again, it would have been interesting if Axel was the character that he was in KH3, because we got to see him like have like sort of a reality check, like introspective, like, man, I've done some awful things in my past, but like I'm trying to redeem myself and that type of stuff. But he never really, I mean, they kind of hinted at like one or two times, but he never really has like a sit down moment where he's like, I have to come to terms with like the person that I used to be and how that doesn't define who I am and like this stuff. There's so much possibility here. But and if that was the case, I would have been okay with how he was in KH3 because we actually got to see the progression. He has a full character arc from Calm to KH2. And in my opinion, he's got one of the best character arcs where he starts off not giving a shit about anybody, and then in Days he meets Roxas, starts caring about him, and then by the end of KH2 he's willing to give up his life just for the chance of even getting to have one final conversation with Roxas, like the full turnaround of him, and it's interesting. But anyways, going back to Sora, I don't think Sora's a bad character. He definitely has a lot of bad moments. I want to put him at the top of good, personally.
Yeah, so I have him in bottom of A tier. What I really like him through Kingdom Hearts 1 through Kingdom Hearts 2. Like, sort of similar to what you were saying with Axel or Lee, how he kind of has, like, this whole, like, character arc thing. I feel like you get that with Sora between Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. Like, in 1, he doesn't really know what's going on. He just knows that he has to do the right thing. And I really appreciate that. Like, as far as, like, Shonen Jump protagonist goes, I like how Sora is willing to kind of, like, accept the fact of, like, yeah, I don't know all this, like, mysterious lore stuff. I just know you're the bad guy and you need to be stopped.
And I really like him in KH1 also specifically because there is a self-contained arc even within KH1 between Sora, Donald, and Goofy, which again is what pisses me off that like they don't include the Disney characters, because at the beginning of the game they don't really care about each other that much. Like Sora just wants to find his friends, and then Donald just wants to find Mickey, specifically Donald. Goofy's also there, and to the point where he even tells like like Goofy, he's like, I don't even know if we can really help this guy, but like we need him to come along with us, so we're just gonna lie to him and say like, yeah, of course we're gonna find your friends, totally, definitely.
Yeah.
And then we get to like Deep Jungle, and Sora's like, oh my god, have you seen my friends Donald and I mean, Riku and Kyra, like he catches himself starting to care about them a little bit, right? And then by the end of the game, he like all he wanted was to go back to his island with his friends, and right when he's about to maybe achieve that, he has grown so much that he's willing to sacrifice himself just to be able to like for the greater good. Essentially, he's like, I'm not gonna get to be happy. Obviously he does at the end, right? But like that's not the point. The point is that like he got to the point where he was the type of person that was willing to give themselves up like that, and I think that's pretty cool. Cage 2, he also has a bit of an arc. Cage 3, he doesn't really have any kind of an arc, which is fine.
No, after Dream Drop, he's kind of stupid. There's small moments where he's hanging out with Donald and Goofy in Kingdom Hearts 3 that I love and I adore. I feel like that game has probably like the best moments between the three of them.
Yeah.
For a number of reasons. But all of like the high lore moments where like it's really time to be serious and to deal with stuff, I can't take Sora seriously. And it's like, it's weird because it's like the game is trying to make a significant point, like with Sora or whatever, or Sora is like standing up and saying things about Xehanort and how he's a big stinky meanie and whatever, but it's just, I can't take Sora seriously. I don't know if it's, I just don't know why. So I can't just, that's it. I just can't take him seriously in Kingdom Hearts 3.
The other thing that I don't, and this is more just Cage 3 narrative, but I feel like he doesn't have such a like as much of a personal stake in the conflict in Cage 3. And granted, that's also a little bit true in Cage 2, where it feels like he was a little bit divorced. Again, Cage 1 is the one where it handled it the best, where that's like he directly lost his island to the doings of and lost his friends to the doings of the villains. Whereas in Cage 2, it's like, well, you got to defeat them because they're the bad guys. And in Cage 3, it's even more of that. But that's more so getting into like Kingdom Hearts narrative. Brandon's saying, "Hey boys, what's up, Brandon? We're doing Brandon. Look at don't look at the bottom tier, Brandon. Okay, don't just ignore that.
Am I on speak?
Hey
Jake.
Howdy.
How were you able to join? I thought I had to approve you.
I thought you did too, but apparently here I am. How many people we got watching?
A few. How many? 7 it says. I know in the chat I see Derek, Cross, Brandon, Isel.
RPG guys.
I actually forgot that I used to care about Soaring Cage 1 because so many sequels are like that quality. What the fuck? Brandon's message showed up on stream before mine showed up in the chat. It's, dude, I don't know. The chat on the screen on stream is like, is awful. I mostly have it there for like, in case I ever watch back the VOD so I can see what I'm reacting to in the chat. But, it's, I don't know why it's so delayed. It's like, it's really annoying. But anyways, yeah, we're doing a character tier list, Angie. We've been sort of... Yeah. I'm not gonna take your account into consideration because we already started just me and Jake. So.
No, don't worry. I won't say anything.
So Jake, you said you had him at the bottom of A, and I have him at the top of B. I think that's fair. Like where we have
pretty
him
balanced.
Okay. Also, Aqua best waifu false statements. Brandon, stop! Don't look at it. Look away. Okay.
Hi, Brandon.
Demix is another one that doesn't really have too much going. I would say that he's okay. Honestly, probably
Oh, don't. Demix is better. Like, okay. I think Demix is really good comic relief. He's just so stupid. He's very funny.
He's got like one or two funny moments.
He serves his place for what it needs.
Well, the thing I was going to say, he's got one or two funny moments, but the thing is, I can't in good faith put him above Vexen, not because I like Vexen more than him, because I don't. I like Demix more, but I feel like Vexen serves way more of a purpose in the story, whereas Demix is another also just kind of there. But I don't know. I feel like I'd rather see him on screen. Honestly, yeah, I kind of want to put him over Vexen.
So I have him in the middle of B tier, really, because like I like his role as a character, but yeah, he doesn't do a whole lot else. Funny enough, I think we all know about like the theories on Demix being the Masters of Masters, right?
I've heard about that vaguely, but I've never gone too into it. It is true that him and Luke Sword, or whatever his real name is, are the only two that are like unaccounted for who we know have some kind of connection to the Union Cross stuff, because in Cage 3 they talk about it, and we never saw either of them in the game, so it's possible. But go ahead.
Yeah. So conveniently enough, I actually have the Master of Masters in the same spot.
Oh.
I have them like tied, like just because like I like them as like individual characters, And I'm looking forward to like what they're gonna do moving forward because Dimix is coming back with just him kind of being like a fan favorite character. There's no way he's not.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cam Graney said, "I like Sora's breakdown in Chain of Memories too." Which one are you talking about specifically? You talking about at the end where he gets like mad at Donald and Goofy, or? I'm just Ken, says Brandon. Okay. Next up we got Luke Sword. He's like not great. Also, in my opinion,
I was gonna say unpopular opinion, but I don't know if it is. Luke Sword is just.
He's there.
I don't know. He's just kind of there.
I feel like he's the most default organization member.
Personality, gambler.
For real. I like parts of his design. I don't know why he's Nomura's favorite organization member. That makes no sense to me. It's like, okay.
Probably because he's the most boring.
Maybe. I don't know. I do like his conclusion at the end of KH3 where like he kind of you know, he's all about games and like luck and the luck of the cards and stuff like that, and then in the end Sora beat him fair and square and he's like, all right, fine, you know what, you beat me, and then he gives him the card that we never found out what it was, which I think it's cool. I think that's cool. So for that reason, honestly, I'm kind of tempted to put him even like above at the top of maybe even bottom of okay.
Dude, that's probably what's going to happen in Kingdom Hearts 4 is Donald and Goofy are looking for a way to bring Sora back, and they go to Luxord about the card, and Luxord is like, oh,
well,
yes,
he's dead,
you see, because well, yeah, but Luxord is like, you see, I'm actually thousands of years old, and I come from a time where the power of waking was important, so that's what I gave him the card for.
So it's him and Demix like are both. We don't know what's going on with them, and we probably might in the future. But like for now, I kind of just want to put him. I think bottom of okay is like is fine.
So I have him in the bottom of B.
A, B. I have him at the bottom of C. So I guess maybe I'll move him up a little bit, maybe above.
Like midway.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm talking about Sora forgetting everything and lashing out at everyone, and the justification for protecting him. So yeah, I think that we are thinking about the same spot, Cam, where he gets mad and he runs away from Donald and Goofy, and then Jiminy gets after him, and he's like, "Shut up! I don't want to hear it from you."
Yeah.
Cage is garbage. All right, Brandon. JK peak fiction.
Need to live or die, life of blonde fragility. I love the Barbie movie. Anyways.
I still haven't seen it. Angie got kicked out
The
of
Barbie
watching.
movie is fucking amazing.
Angie got kicked
so
out of the
fun.
movie theater.
Kicked out of Barbie.
Oh, don't say anything.
You don't have to tell the story on stream if you don't want to, but they were being a menace.
Okay,
No,
can you talk about it later.
It's not fun getting kicked out of the Barbie movie.
All right.
Can I quote that? Can I get that like on a
Yeah,
tattoo?
yeah.
Sweet,
Okay.
I'm gonna quote for that.
So Marluxia / Lorium. Let me think about this for a second. I feel like I like him as a villain in Chain of Memories, but he's not there for most of the game. I feel like Larxene is like the main antagonistic force throughout most of it. At least directly in terms of Sora, kind of similar to how throughout most of KH2, the main person that you have like interactions with is like Sayax as opposed to Xemnas. Xemnas is like the big boss that comes at the end, and I feel like Marluxia is very similar in Chain of Memories. That being said, though, I feel like I do still like him. He also has some of the best hair in the organization, in my opinion. I like his motif. I like his boss fight gimmick in the KH2 Final Mix. And it exists in Union Cross. It is a thing that is canon. So I kind of want to put him in good. Maybe I'll put it maybe like in the middle of good, and I would say. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd say yeah. Marluxia's like a good character. You were right when you said like Larxene kind of is the main driving antagonist in Chain of Members, despite him being the real antagonist. We do get some good moments with him because he is kind of like a menacing figure, and like I don't know much about him in Union Cross or whatever.
You know all there is to know, Angie. He is in the game.
Yeah. That he was just there.
Yeah, he's he's Strelitzia's older brother, so he's probably going to be maybe relevant in KH4 because Strelitzia's in the game.
That's right. No, yeah. I actually don't remember like anything about him in Kingdom Hearts 3 though.
I don't think he did.
I forgot he was in that game. I have to be completely honest.
He was in the Tangled world, and I don't think he does anything in that game, honestly. He was just there. I feel like his appearance in Calm is so strong, though. Like, he is, outside of Xemnas, he is the only other organization member that got to be the main villain of a full game.
Yeah.
Which, like, obviously, like, Axel and Roxas are, like, more important because, you know, they're, like, main characters. But, like, as far as, like, the other ones that are, like, actual, like, straight villains, he is, like, the main one outside of Xemnas.
Mhm.
He's also got a cool design, and he's got a cool weapon, and he's got a cool boss fight, which I think, I mean, I don't know if we're taking that into account, but
Yeah, that does it all.
So what would you say then?
I have him in the middle of my indifferent thing. So he is like, yeah, so he is in my middle tier.
Middle. So okay, I guess in that case to bounce it out, I'll put him at the bottom of good then.
Yeah.
Man, also I know I wasn't here for Axel, but good placement on there just because like when I think about it, I feel like Axel has one of, if not the best arcs in the entire series.
Yeah.
Cause yeah, like you get to see him throughout all of these games, but he's not overused at all.
Yeah.
He's there where he needs to be, and he tells his own story in the places that he does, and it wraps up pretty well in Dream Drop Distance, Kingdom Hearts 3.
The thing that we were saying is that we liked his arc from Calm to Days to 2, and that we, at least in my opinion, I don't think he should have come back. I think that like his story was perfect then, and I feel like he is not that great in KH3 personally.
He's not great. I just feel like that's kind of where I mean Kingdom Hearts 3 as a whole, characters weren't that great.
I don't think that there's any character that I would say was like a banger in KH3. Let me sit on that for a second.
I mean, Donald did pretty good.
Oh, I have one.
Donald's arc was better in KH1 though. Go ahead.
Oh, that's true.
Go ahead, Jake.
No. We'll get to this character later.
Oh, okay. So just catching up on the chat real quick. Glad I finally accepted the Barbie movie as God tier. And then Brandon said Barbie is better than any Square Enix game known to man. I mean, sure. I've been saying this for 15-ish years. I mean, dude, like, when are we gonna finish Swan Lake, Angie?
Well, you know why we haven't finished.
Okay, Cross said
that. So,
wait, hold on. Did I just hear human being praise the writing decision on Dream Drop Distance? You did. This is why Angie, are you okay? Says Cross.
No, I was saying that I think that Axel was still good in that game. He wasn't like overused. I'm not. Okay, I guess kill me. And that maybe I shouldn't be saying this because I actually never played through Dream Drop Distance. I played through half the game, and that's about it. But I watched several playthroughs of it and all of the games.
The thing that I was said earlier, and this, you know, I'm not going to harp on it too much because we already kind of talked about it, but it's sort of like he was like a good character but a bad person in the previous games, and it feels like in KH3 he's just another one of the gang. Oh, like happy-go-lucky, like good guys, whatnot. And it's like, did we forget that like just a couple days ago this guy was like a ruthless, heartless murderer? And I feel like that I would have been okay with that if we got to see that change happen and him have to come to terms with it and go through that, but we never did. He just kind of came back and it's like, well, I guess he's a good guy now because he just so happened to be friends with Roxas.
So, Dean.
Go ahead.
I do apologize, but I have 30 minutes, then I gotta hop off.
Oof. Okay, so let's finish this one, and then let's at least finish this one, and then I'll do the other ones with Angie. Okay. So, okay. Larxene, similar reasons to Marluxia. Love to see her on screen. Cool boss. I mean, it's all right. It's not great. I would put her below Marluxia personally.
So I have her like right between Marluxia and Vexen,
which is about where I have her, pretty much. Yeah. Okay. No controversies there. Again, we already talked. She's pretty much the main villain of Calm for most of the actual like story. She has the most interactions. She's well voice acted. She's like one of 2 adult Kingdom Hearts women.
She is very well voice acted.
Yeah, and then she's in KH3, just like Marluxia, kind of wasted. But she talks about the new 7 princesses, which isn't even a thing in the game. So whatever.
Yeah, that's true. I fucking hate that shit.
Okay, next up we got Ansem, Seeker of Darkness. I feel like his story in KH1, where he was the scientist, was really interesting, and then it got retconned to not be him who wrote all of those entries and all of that stuff. And I feel like just as Xehanort's Heartless, he's kind of like just there. I don't know. I kind of want to put him bottom of okay or top of not great, honestly.
So I'm trying to find them on my tier list.
Brandon said Hurricane Hours and Angie said... sorry, real quick. Brandon said Hurricane Hours and Cross had Angie Moments, so Rob.
Dang.
Yeah, that shit sucks, dude. Actually, it's not that bad right now.
Alright, we'll go ahead, Jake.
All right, so I have him in the middle of my C tier. So I have him below Isa or Sayx, but above Marluxia.
Okay. I would not put him above Marluxia, but middle of C. Okay, I'll move him to the bottom of OK in that case. He's fine.
All right.
Okay, next up we got Xemnas. I feel like I like Xemnas
Can
more
I
than...
start with this real quick?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So this is the character I was saying that has the best performance in Kingdom Hearts 3.
The best... What do you mean? Like voice or just role?
No, performance as far as like just what they do with their character, like the writing,
What do they
etc.
do? Am I forgetting something? I feel like I don't remember it being that.
So he basically, both him and Seeker of Darkness are just kind of like Xehanort henchmen. But
Right.
I really love their closing things, like whenever they die and you have a conversation with them.
Right.
I don't really care so much for Seeker of Darkness, like in how he closes his stuff, because like in Kingdom Hearts 1, he's just supposed to be like a mustache twirling villain, and then they do the whole retcon thing with him being the Sage King, or him not being the Sage King of Hollow Bastion.
Right.
And blah, blah, blah. But what I really like about Xemnas is Xemnas kind of has this whole thing about like emotions and feelings, and then you get the whole like crap. What's the term called where they have a plot point and then they change it in another game?
They're red hair.
I just said it. Retcon.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So they do the whole retcon with like nobody's not having emotions and stuff, and they kind of bring it up at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3 when Xemnas is dying, but he kind of references his death scene in Kingdom Hearts 2.
Right.
Because in Kingdom Hearts 2, Sora's like, okay, well, what are you feeling? And Xemnas is like, nothing. But if I were to feel anything, it would be kind of like alone.
Loneliness.
And then that's exactly that's what he says at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3. So it's like, I feel for him. He's a bad guy and there's not a whole lot there, but it's just, I really love that whole like human anthology on what it means to be a person. And
of course you would say that.
That's my whole thing. Like,
yeah.
So yeah, I love Xemnas in Kingdom Hearts 3 because on the callbacks to his whole desire and motivation in Kingdom Hearts 2.
It's consistent.
I agree with you, but the thing is, like, I feel like we don't see a lot of it. It's like it's referenced in like maybe 3 scenes in the entire series. He does have a good voice and a good boss fight, and his design is alright. I definitely like him more than Ansem. I can't put him under people like Demix and Vexen, so he's minimum good tier in my opinion.
I feel like
probably I kind of want to put him below these 3 just because I feel like Marluxia and Larxene are like a little bit more fun. Like whenever he's on screen, I'm like, is there like a 2x speed button somewhere on here? Where would you put him like in the actual list? Jake.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
On your list?
Just in general.
I'd probably put him at least above Larxene. I feel like he's pretty solid there.
Dude, your audio's like jacked up.
Damn.
I didn't do anything.
It sounds like you're farting every time that you're talking. Doesn't it, Angie?
I literally got. I haven't done
Wait, you want
anything.
disconnected, restart the app.
Okay, hold on.
No, I would probably like it's hard because I feel like Larxene's fun on screen. I mean, what would you say you felt whenever like he in Kingdom Hearts 2, like I feel like he was not menacing is not the word to describe him as a villain, but it was kind of like an ominous feeling whenever you just start hearing Xemnas talking.
Right.
And what would you say, how was the build up to him being like a villain? Like being the last boss of the game.
I mean, kind of like what we said earlier. I feel like, can I not invite Jake? How does this work? Invite to speak?
I just put hand when I did it.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not working. Jake requested to speak. Wait, I feel like I'm accepting it and it's not working. Why is this so complicated? It's not letting me press the accept. Bruh. You know what? Let's just join the feed here. I'll just go to the feed, Jake. Okay, here we go. Where's Angie?
All right.
Frickin' Angie. All right.
Can y'all hear me now? Am I good?
Yeah. No, you're good. You're good. Here, let's try and hurry it up because like you said, you gotta go. So yeah, Angie was talking about how he's kind of like a menacing villain. I mean, I agree, but again, it's
Not
just like
menacing, just kind of like ominous. Whenever he would be like, you never really expected when he would be there. Like, but yet again, it wasn't always that often.
And that's what I'm saying. He shows up like twice for the whole thing. Yeah. I kind of want to. Jake, you said above Larkseen. I'm willing.
I said above Larkseen.
Okay, yeah, sure. That's fine. Young Xehanort, I feel like is just.
Oh God.
I mean, he doesn't really do a lot, and also at the end of KH3, he's the only one that like doesn't really get like a proper resolution, which I understand makes sense because obviously he's gonna go back in time to become the old Xehanort, so he can't really have a change of heart if he then goes back in time and becomes the villain that does all this awful stuff. That being said, like again, there's no real reason to be there. It's just I kind of want to put him in irredeemable, honestly.
I have him. I like the idea of having a younger Xehanort or a version of younger Xehanort being like a part of the overall plot. I wish it was in a way though where like he was a one-off villain. Like
maybe just in Dream Drop he would have been like main villain.
Yes. Yeah. So, like, you have Kingdom Hearts 1, where Ansem, Seeker of Darkness is the villain. Kingdom Hearts 2, where Xemnas is the villain. Having Dream Drop just be him, I feel like would be really cool. And then, like, maybe they could have done a better job at tying, like, the whole time travel thing to dreams and whatever. It just, him being in the middle of, like, all of this time shenanigans and body swapping stuff, and I have to borrow a body from a different time period, and I can or can't be in that place. And then it's too convoluted. I like the concept of a younger Xehanort. I just hate the execution. But because I like him as an individual character, and I kind of want to see what they do with like his relationship with the Master of Masters, I have him at bottom of C tier.
Bottom of C. Bottom of C. So that would move him up to not the middle of like not great.
Yeah.
Well, but you did say bottom, so I'll put him on that one. Okay, Unchained, Union Cross, X, Chi, Back Cover, Kai, Key, Dark Road.
So we can just throw all of those in there.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like none of us have any strong opinion. Unless you're Brandon, who's in the chat saying Ava best girl. Brandon, you, like... I don't know what your standards are, man.
I do have some notes for the foretellers, but half of them are in my I don't care tier.
The thing is, I do have like personal foretellers that I dislike more. Like I think this guy's name is Gula, the leopard. Yeah. I don't like him. He's kind of annoying, and he like betrays like a said, and Ava's kind of dumb. But like like ultimately at the end of the day, like my opinions are not strong enough to like sit here and discuss it. Especially if we're on limited time, so let's just put all these guys there.
Can we agree to throw Data Riku in there too?
The what?
Can we agree to throw Data Riku in there too?
In the Unchained category?
Well, in just let's just call that category bad.
I feel like it's kind of funny. Wait, are we also including Scold and what's his name?
No, I feel like they're unique enough to where we don't have to do that.
And Master of Masters as well. I'll leave outside of that. But Brain, yeah, I'm gonna put Brain in there, and Strelitzia, I'm gonna put an irredeemable. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Could we throw Aqua in there too? Just go ahead and get her out of the way.
Yeah, might as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
worst
it is
or best than Strelitzia? I'll say it is literally the Aqua tier.
Can we boot Data Riku
into
anywhere bad?
Put like bottom of not great. Wait, but now come on, Data Riku and Calm is like
no.
Wait, Repliku or Data Riku? It's Repliku, isn't it?
Data. I don't know.
To this day, I still don't know if it's supposed to be Data Riku or Repliku.
It's supposed to be neither. In Kingdom Hearts 3, it's supposed to be the version. No. They retconned that. They said it was the version of Riku that was possessed from.
You're right. You're so right. It was time traveled Riku from the end of KH1. Oh my god.
Then they changed it because that's what he says when he's in the Big Hero 6 world. He's just like, "Oh,
when he fell to the darkness."
Yeah. But then at the end of his boss fight, when like he's dying or whatever, Riku is like, "You're not really me, are you?" And he's like, "Nope, sight."
I don't know, bro.
It's so stupid. That's why I hate him.
I don't know.
I'll
lock
make
him in the pit of hell and throw away the key.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Oh wait, no, that's not what I meant to do. Hold up, add a row below, and we'll call it
Bits of hell.
throw in. Actually, no. You know what? I have a better. Let me delete this row.
End of the
We're
world.
we're gonna change it from irredeemable to throw in realm of darkness.
Yes.
And destroy key.
The key.
And we'll put him in there. I'll put him above the other two though, because at the bare minimum.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay. We got a couple left in here. I decided to just put Ephemera and Scold in the key tier as well, because like they have a little bit more, but like I just whatever. So let's just keep it moving. Let's go ahead and get like the Twilight trio out the way. I feel like I have no strong feelings to either one of them. They're all okay. I would put them all like at the bottom of okay.
But they have such great quotes.
They do have a lot of good quotes. Angie and I quote the Twilight Town intro to KH2 literally daily, but as characters, they're like non-existent as characters.
Yeah.
I feel quote more Hayner, Pence, and Olette
than anyone else, probably.
Than anyone else.
But their thing is, they're not even like memorable quotes. They're literally just lines from the game.
But what would Kingdom Hearts 2 be like without Hayner, Pence, and Olette? Tell me that.
Let me tell you this. It literally would not matter.
It kind of wouldn't, honestly. I feel like I would just quote whatever the intro was anyways. Angie, some of our quotes include... Hold up, Jake, I want you to see, because I actually wrote these down. Some of our quotes include, and I quote, "So you noticed. Haha, just kidding. Surrounded by water. And homework." These are the types of quotes that we quote to each other all the time. They are not like memorable quotes in the slightest.
Don't forget about Diego. Don't forget about two.
Axel's two. Oh, anyways, this all started because we kept quoting "What Do I Know" by Goofy. These are like non-quotes, dude. Anyways, okay, so
Too many worlds.
Too many worlds.
So
all right.
I have the three of them in my they don't do much category, right next to Dylan and the redheaded one.
That's where I have him too, right next to Dylan. I kind of want to move Ansem above this guy, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put him honestly at the top of okay. He's
okay.
Speaking of limited time, we gotta go talk. All right, see you across. We'll probably be on for a while. Okay, let's. Is there anyone else that's like super like not relevant?
We could do
Let's do Ansem guy and then and Yozora. So Ansem the Wise. I feel like he is one of the very few characters that actually has an on-screen change of heart, which is more than you can say for literally anybody else in this entire series. And so for that, I kind of want to put him in like at the bare minimum okay. He is a piece of shit before that, but again, it's for a reason, and he changes. And he dies and doesn't really... No, he does come back. Never mind. He does come back. I forgot that he does come back. Damn it. So,
I love him a lot because of the role he plays. So it's kind of like in a sense of Ericus, in the sense of, you're not going to get a whole lot with them, but what you do get, I think he kind of excels at, in the sense of like, he's an antagonist to all of the side characters, which I really like. Like, he doesn't have any beef with, like, Sora, actually, but, like, he puts everyone else through the ringer.
Like, Sora, or Roxas hates him, yeah.
Yeah, like, the whole organization, Xehanort himself, he's an antagonist to basically 2/3 of the cast. So I wish that we got more with him, and quite honestly, I gotta be honest, I do think that, to some capacity, he might play a role in the new mobile game. Whatever it's called.
Well, the thing is, like, there's a lot of theories that, like, the entirety of Union Cross takes place in a simulation within his computer, which honestly might be true. What were you going to say?
It might be, and it's stupid.
It is stupid, but it does. There's that quote in KH3 where they talk about all the children that died for him, and it's like, well, I don't know. I kind of just want to put him at like, I want to put him slightly above the other Ansem, because at least all of the reports and stuff that again happens off screen, but it's all at least interesting in my opinion. So
at least he has more of a character than Ansem.
Yeah, Ansem, the other Ansem, Secret Darkness doesn't really have much. Okay,
so he's one of my characters that's in my top 10.
Oh, the Ansem the Wise?
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, I'll boot him from bottom of okay to Maybe.
Like,
See, I feel like
above,
in concept he's so cool again because of all the reports
You
and
like,
stuff.
no, I would put him actually. I would honestly put him above Marluxia.
I was gonna say the same.
Yeah.
Like not as much as like as Isa, but like
I feel like within the narrative, like within the tale of the world of Kingdom Hearts, he's a good character. Within the actual games that are Kingdom Hearts, he's just kind of there. So for that, I'll leave him. I think I'll leave him there. Yozora, I have no strong feelings towards. He's literally just Noctis, Beta Noctis, just like okay. I guess he's more interesting than
he has a video game.
He does have a video game. I'll put him like
inside a video game. So meta.
Yeah, I have no. He's in my indifferent.
Yeah, I'll just put him there in the middle.
I don't really care. I was fine before he existed, and I'm fine after.
Put him above Vexen.
Oh yeah. Fine. I'll put him below Vexen. Why not? Okay, I want to do some of these like last ones out of order. Kairi grading it has the biggest disparity from like falling off from one game to another. I feel like as she is right now, if it was just KH3, Kairi would be thrown in the realm of darkness. But if we have to take like KH1 and even KH2 Kairi into account, I'll put her under the again top of not great. Maybe top of not great. I feel like is because I can't in good faith put her any higher.
Yeah. He's in my I'm interested category, which is C tier. Like, I kind of want them to do more stuff with her, but I know everything that they're going to do with her, I'm just going to not like.
I feel like she already had her most interesting, like, as interesting as she's going to get has already happened, which is sad.
Yeah.
Especially with, like, how it's looking like in the new game, it's mostly going to be Strelitzia and all that kind of stuff, so, So you have her in C, I have her in D. I think that's fair.
That's fine.
Okay, so let's do Master of Masters next. I feel like in Master of Masters is another one of those that in context is, or in theory, like in concept, is really cool. And I feel like his voice is really fun, and I feel like his story has the potential to be really good, but potential is not, is not solid story.
Right.
I want to put him in good. I will not allow anything below good, but outside of that, I'm not really sure. I kind of want
to have him high B tier.
That's okay. Yeah, that's where I have him too. I think he's better than Terra, honestly. I'll put him above Terra because he's more interesting.
He's fun.
He's fun. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like anytime he's on screen, like it's gonna be fun. Unless it's KH3 and he's delivering exposition. Go ahead.
I would put him in the same range between like Saix and Ansem the Wise is probably where I would put him.
Okay, in that case, I'll put him just above that then to balance it out. Okay, next up, let's leave Xehanort towards the end. I kind of want to do some of these characters towards the end. Ventus is the only one of the trio that we still haven't done. I like him more than Aqua, less than Terra. I would say that he's in the okay category. Again, conceptually, he's got a lot of cool stuff going on around him, but he himself doesn't really do all that much for me.
Yeah.
Probably. I would maybe put him above Kairi, and like I would maybe put him actually above Yozora, but not above Vexen.
I kind of want to put him below Yozora personally. What do you think, Jay?
I would probably I like him more than Vexen, so by default he would be above Yozora.
Okay, I guess in that case I'll bounce it out and put him there.
Nudge him.
Okay, let's. See, the thing is, I feel like outside of Xehanort, let's just do Xehanort right now.
Sure.
Xehanort exists. He had a lot of potential. I feel like his motivations at the end were kind of all over the place. I hate the fact that we didn't get his like entire ideology until the literal scene where he was dying. He wasn't really all that threatening because he never really kills anyone. The one person that he does kill had already died like 3 times earlier in that game, and then ended up coming back anyways. Like, I don't like the fact that he's redeemed at the end. Honestly, I'm kind of tempted to put him under not great.
Really?
Yeah.
I think in Birth by Sleep he's a pretty good villain, and like I enjoy when Xehanort is on screen when he was in Birth by Sleep.
I like his voice in the original Birth by Sleep too, but
yeah, I think that honestly the shit where he just kind of completely destroys the trio was pretty great.
And I do like his idea of like possessing a new body to like keep going, but it's just I can't get over the fact that he's the big bad, and like his ideology kind of stinks and doesn't make sense, and it's also not explained until he's literally like taking his last breath.
The explanation you're given in BBS is he wants to see the Keyblade War. So
Right.
he tries to recreate it. And I really
But
like
you don't know
that,
why though.
Sure. But that's where I think the story goes sour, is like I think the rest of the Dark Seeker saga should have been about his fixation on the Keyblade War. Instead, it's, oh, I just wanted to remake everything.
Yeah.
It's too generic. It's
I
too
agree.
stupid. And I like the idea of a mad genius being so fixated on a particular element of lore that, and it's selfish. It's selfish, and the fact that it's like just he wants to experience a moment of history. Like, imagine someone being like, I want to see what it looked like when Adolf Hitler killed himself,
Yeah.
and then started World War III in order to do that. You know what I mean? Like, so, and that's top tier villain stuff. Is like, it is stupid, but it's the fact that he's going to the lengths that he's going to for something so stupid that makes him so like fearful.
I just feel like
you like never like I like how hammy he is. I
don't
like
think
how
he's that hammy. The thing I was gonna say is I feel like I can't put him that high because there's so many other villains that I like seeing and that I feel like I have more of a personal connection to as Sora than him.
Yeah. So I have him in my indifferent because Kingdom Hearts 3 really soured him for me.
Yeah, and
otherwise he probably would be up in my B tier.
maybe I'll put him at top of not great in that case.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
So, okay, the reason why I wanted to leave these for the end is because, in my opinion, these are probably my 4 favorite Kingdom Hearts characters.
Agreed.
Really?
I think 3 of these are in my top 4.
Okay.
No, 3 of these are in my top 5, and one of them is my top 8.
What do you think, Angie?
So who are we starting with?
Okay, I think can I speculate? Is Naminé the one that's like not in the top 4?
Yes.
Okay,
Naminé
I
is
would
top
agree.
8.
I would agree. I like Naminé's story and calm, but outside of that,
I
yeah.
like her role in Kingdom Hearts 2. I like what she does
Free
in 2.
Kingdom Hearts 2.
If this were up to me, these would all be at this top tier. But we can discuss.
Yeah.
So are you guys okay leaving them all in like the top tier, or does
Yeah,
anyone
just
have
for
any-
now.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, as far as like actual ordering goes, I do think that Naminé would be at the bottom. I like her her story and like the tragedy, and I like that again. It's very rare where we get like full character like moments actually realized in the gameplay. I was just playing Persona 4 with Angie yesterday, and we were talking about the fact that it's not very often in media that you see characters that have complex feelings about even their own friends, because a lot of the times you like people that you hang out with and that are your friends, but you can still dislike things about them, and even things that are maybe like unreasonable, like in Persona 4 specifically, it was the girl that was jealous of her best friend that was this other girl, because she thought that she was better than her, and all this. It was Chie and whatever the other girl's name is, which I think is cool. I think Naminé has a tiny little bit of that at the end of Com, for example, where she's like, she was born and she immediately was kidnapped, was forced to do all these awful things, and then at the end she asks Sora if she's going to like if he wants to remember her. I think in my opinion, fully expecting that he's going to be like, oh, like the thing that he said earlier where he was like, even if the memories were fake, they felt real to me, but he's like, nah fam, I just want to go back to how I was. And she was like, of course, why would any sane human would choose that? Crying on the inside, which I think is interesting. But yeah, that's pretty much all she's got, so that's why I would put her at the bottom of this one.
Okay.
I would say that I think that Axel's a better character than Naminé.
I just hate KH3 Axel. They didn't ruin Naminé in KH3 because she was barely there.
Because she wasn't there.
I know.
But taking Axel as a whole, I think him as a character is better than Naminé.
I put Axel in the top tier. Jake had him lower, which is why we balanced it out.
I think it would have made more sense for Naminé to have been the Keyblade wielder in Axel's place.
I honestly don't disagree.
Yeah.
But, should have, could have, would have. I mean, it is what it is. Okay, so then as far as these guys go, I feel like, I don't know, like, sort of where to place them. Again, Shion...
So, how about this?
How
about I tell you my order? Because these are my top 3. It's just the order that's different.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so I have Roxas is 1.
Okay.
Roxas is my toppest top. I love him to death. I love his arc. I love the turmoil that he goes through. He, to me, is like, he's almost like the Luke Skywalker in the sense. Like if you were to make analogies, in the sense of like, he's got this really weird upbringing kind of stuff, and he just kind of keeps getting put down, but he keeps it's almost like underdog mentality in the sense of Roxas in any other like novel, Noxus would be like the primary protagonist. Like in either that or like the perfect antagonist. But he's almost like Riku in the sense of like he tries handling both good and bad. But with Roxas, it's more of like his perception of reality and of his own life, and it's not really about the forces of light and darkness. It's just learning to be optimistic and learning to get on with life and to try and make sense of it the best you can. And I think that that's really applicable for like real world, real life storytelling.
I agree. I feel like I think it's really interesting that out of the 4 characters that are in the top tier, 3 of them are ones that were only really main characters in one single game. Because I feel like Kingdom Hearts really shines when it focuses on like stuff instead of just trying to bring back everyone for the sake of it.
That's why
real quick said, "Oh, go ahead."
I just said that's why Days is the best.
Yeah, I agree. Real quick, Wakewind said, one thing that I like about Namine's character is how she did things out of desperation just to get Sora, who is basically the reason why she exists, and then in the end he rejected her anyways. And then Wakewind says, Roxas and Riku are probably tied as the absolute best characters in the series, most logically, realistically characters, Cage series first. Yeah, so you had Roxas as number 1. I kind of am tempted to agree. It's either Roxas or Riku for me. And the only reason why I would say that I would maybe agree with Roxas being number 1 is because Riku's story does at some points feel like a bit dragged out. Like his whole conflict between, I specifically in Dream Drop, I feel like by the time that we get to Dream Drop, he should kind of be over the whole like, oh, but I still have darkness in me type of thing. Like I thought that's what we resolved in like Calm and KH2. And the fact that like, again, an on-screen character arc where he is like ashamed of the person that he used to be, so much so that he like hides his face under the hood the entire time. It's him looking like Ansem is a physical representation of like the dark stuff that he has done. And it's only when he comes to terms with it that he finally goes back to looking like how he regularly does, which is I think it's really cool. That's the only reason why I would put Riku under Roxas. But if it was just off story alone, like off of that, I personally, I would put Riku above, but yeah.
So that puts us with Shion in 3rd.
So Shion obviously is like, for a lot of the same reasons as Roxas and Days. It's just the classic tragedy. Like, it's just pain after pain. Again, I don't like the fact that she came. Obviously, I like the fact that the characters are all happy, but I just wish that like they had just left their stories as it was. I feel like Namine, Roxas, and Shion did not need to come back, in my opinion. But it is what it is.
I feel like Roxas has a good reason to come back, just because like, how do you, fan favorite character? How do you not add him back to the final climax? But I wish that they made a better reason for it.
I feel like maybe if there's like a thing where like he can come, like, okay, here, actually, I have a theory. I feel like, or not a theory, but I feel like it would have been cool if they did this type of thing where like Roxas can sort of like astral project himself out of Sora and like come aid him, but like he's not his own separate person. He's still a part of Sora, because that was kind of like the whole story of Kingdom Hearts 2. It's like it's them, even though they were in this crappy situation, they had come to terms with it and accepted that that was their reality. It looks like,
especially with the Days or with Dream Drop's ending, where Sora is like, you are supposed to exist, you have to be your own person, like it's you being you is a good thing. And Roxas grabs him by the hand, and then inserts all of his pain, trauma, and memories into Sora.
Sora goes into a coma as a result.
Sora goes into a coma, but Roxas says, that's why it has to be you.
Right.
Dude, I died! I died! That's one of my favorite moments. My 2 favorite moments in the entire series are between Sora and Roxas. It's that moment in Dream Drop. That's the second one. My favorite one is technically between Data Sora and Data Roxas right before their fight at the end of Recoded. Mm-hmm. Like, because they're both talking about each other's narratives in like the real world. Mm-hmm. I hate the fact that it's Data Sora and Data Roxas, but what they have to say about their real life counterparts and what their arcs mean in context of the other existing or not existing, I love. It's beautiful storytelling, it's beautiful philosophy and anthropology and stuff. I just wish it wasn't wasted on Recoded.
It's funny how both moments are from the worst games in the series.
The other thing I was gonna say is the part where Sora finally thanks Namine is also between Data Sora and Data Namine, which frustrates me, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
My personal favorite scene in the whole series is the goodbye scene between Roxas and Axel at the end of KH2 when you defeat Roxas in his boss fight.
Oh, that one's great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't
The only
know.
other thing that I feel like could help Shion be a better developed character is if you just kind of got more moments, especially in days where she was like playable and you did more things with her.
Right.
Because then
I feel
like you
like
kind of got to like see things more from her perspective.
yeah.
But
Shion's
yeah,
an interesting one. Yeah, like it's. I feel like every time that I rewatch the Days movie, I'm like, damn, bro, like it's just it hits so hard for no reason. She's also got one of the best theme songs. Namine's theme song is really cool though, in my opinion. And
I like Lemonade.
I forgot. KH3. She's got like one of the best outfits in my opinion. Shion.
all right. Well, I'm gonna have to head off, guys.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jake.
Oh,
I
good.
appreciated it.
Bye, Jake. Good talking to you.
Absolutely.
See you
All
around.
right, I'll see y'all.
Bye.
Hey, actually, hey, so when I leave on stream, you should pull up mine and compare.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me do that.
All right, I'll see y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, wow. I'm glad I managed to make it for the stream.
Yeah, for sure. Here, let me
Thanks
pull up
a lot
Jake's.
for
He has
the
a lot of tiers.
Hurricanes.
Can you see the thing?
Yeah, I can.
Who you is its own tier, and Data is also its own tier. Oh wow, he put Aqua and B. What a fake, dude. What a freaking fake.
Damn.
Okay. I mean, it's not too different than what we had.
Let me go ahead and get on my laptop to watch the stream, so that way I can just watch it, so that way I can read chat for you.
Yeah, that's fine. He did put Ava above the other four tiller. Well, wait, what? He put Gula above Envy and nah. I disagree with this. I don't like Gula. He's kind of a little shitbag. In
Well, kind of dumb.
See, not gonna lie, I think that Shion being dead and nobody remembering her is kind of a narrative cop-out. I'd be fine with her staying dead, but not all the main characters are that remembering her. Obviously, the reason why that happens is because they hadn't written her when KH2 came out. I would be okay if they remembered her, but she stayed dead, personally.
Yeah.
Or, again, if it was a thing where, like, Sora can, like, look into his inner self and like consult Roxas, or like use the power essence of Roxas, like whenever he wants to power up and stuff like that.
Roxas.
And Kyrie could do a similar thing with like Naminé and Shion. But I don't know. I'm not a super huge fan of them being their own separate characters, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, so I like this. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this so that we can move on to the next one.
Kingdom Hearts 4.
Here, let me know when you're good, because I wanted to do another tier list after this, if you don't mind.
Let me go to update. Hop on. Start my summer vacation. Overscreen. Visit site.
Do you remember when we did a Kingdom Hearts tier list, character tier list, Yumi and Audrey, like years ago, like in 2019?
No, it's been so long that I do not remember.
I don't even think that I have it anymore. I think it was on my Twitter like a while ago, but again, I don't have access to it anymore because frickin' Twitter.
Frickin' Twitter. Alright, I'm in stream.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it in the stream.
Oh, well, I'm sharing it as well. I think it would be better if you saw it there.
Alright. No, yeah, I'm good.
So you can see me scrolling right now?
Yeah.
Okay. The other one that Jake and I were going to do, well, we were going to do KH Worlds, but I feel like that one would have taken too long. So instead, we got...
Yes.
Do you see it?
Let me see. Oh, God.
All right. Let's do this.
Well, if that's it.
I gotta be honest, I'm not really into... I don't know much about these at all, but...
Okay. So, starting with Roxas and Shion. Oh, God.
I feel like I kind of don't know how to feel about the fact that the canon ships now are Roxas, Shion, Riku, Naminé. I feel like I liked Roxas Naminé more. And maybe this is just the case. Well, not necessarily, because I feel like this is just like the the KH2 fan speaking, and with also obviously like in KH1, Riku also liked Kairi, but then Sora ended up with Kairi, and Lamine's kind of like Kairi's counterpart. So what would have then been the alternative would have been like Riku Shion. I don't like Riku Shion as an idea.
I think I like actually Riku Namine a little bit more because in the end, I mean, Riku and Namine had more screen
You're
time.
not wrong, Ashley. Yeah, I forgot that like the entire time that Sora was asleep, Riku and Namine were like working together.
I think Namine just kind of guided Roxas at the time and tried to help him, probably because he like not only to help Sora wake up, but also because maybe she like understood because he was a nobody.
Yeah, I guess I could see that. I just again with a lot of this Kingdom Hearts stuff, I was gonna say is like I wish that we got to see it because we barely ever see them interact. I think they have like maybe 2 or 3 scenes together outside of like KH3 where like they're reunited. But you know what? I did kind of forget about that, and that to that degree that makes more sense. So, Wakewind said, "Me personally, if I was a 14 to 15-year-old kid and I learned that killing myself spawned the existence of 3 other kids who lived and died within the span of a year or so, that would do things to me. And yet Sora is still just chilling. Even if I didn't know them personally at first, I would still feel crazy guilty, and I think that Sora would be too if they stayed dead. So I want to see how Sora react to all of that had they stayed gone." Well, we're never going to see that because they didn't stay gone, and also they wouldn't have shown it to us anyways. I feel like you bring up a good point. I had never thought about the fact, Angie, that they do kind of interact a little bit off screen. So for that, I'll say ship them. Sure, why not? For Namine and Riku, and for Roxas and Shion, I feel like I like them as friends. I don't know.
Yeah, same here. Like I feel like, I mean, while Namine and Riku, I feel like are a good ship, I can still see Namine and Roxas, but I might just put it below Namine and Riku.
I'll also put it below, but I'll put Shion and Roxas as I'm gonna say dislike. No, I'm gonna say dislike. I feel like I don't. I feel like
I like them as there are some characters that I just like more as friends.
Yeah. Okay, Sora and Kairi obviously is like, the one, but like, the only reason why I'll put them in like ship them is just because like they deserve each other. They're both like, meh. I don't know. Especially like in current Kingdom Hearts, they're like, eh.
Namine and Sora.
Oh, Namine and Sora. I mean, see, I like them in Calm. Outside of Calm, though. Outside of Calm, I don't really see it. I feel like a neutral, honestly. Now, let me zoom in a little bit so I can see this.
Oh shit! Sayax and Axel.
Sayax and Axel. I could see it.
But they don't even have Sayax and Ron.
Alright, anyways. Wait, you're right, they don't. What the fuck?
Yeah, because for obvious reasons.
No, for what's the obvious reason?
Isn't Roxas like 17 or not even 17?
Well, I just want to point out that they have Aqua and Riku on here. Which is not only something that I've never even heard of in my life, but also like Riku's also like 17. I guess you know what? If Riku's like 17 and Aqua's like 18, I guess that's not that
Wakewind says, "I don't know why Kingdom Hearts is opposed to actual romance. IDK, if it's because they don't know how to actually write it or just pose. What gets me is how they hint, but they don't actually go full force with it." That's true. I mean, it's they.
How old is Axel supposed to be? Like 20, like 20 some?
I think he was 16 in Birth by Sleep.
That would make sense. So he's like 26 and... No. He was definitely older than Ventus, though, and Ventus was 16.
Was Ventus 16? Or was Ventus...
No. Ventus was 16. Which doesn't make sense. Ventus should be 15, because he looks just like Roxas. No. Wait, no, yeah. Okay, hold up. Mental gymnastics. In KH1, Sora's 14, right?
Yeah.
In KH2, Sora's 15. Roxas is Sora's nobody, so he should also be 15. And Roxas in KH2 looks identical to Ven, which means that in theory Ven should also be about 15, but Nomura said that he was 16. So Ven is like 15, 16, and I think that Lee is supposed to be older than him, but let's just be generous and say that he's also 16, maybe just a little bit taller. That means that by the time of the actual events of the game, he would be 26, which sounds about right. So Axel's 26, and then Roxas being 16 would be problematic. But I guess yeah, with Riku and Aqua, like yeah, Riku's like 17 and like 16, 17, and Aqua's like 18. But I feel like that's like, I think that's fine. Yeah, so I can see why that's here. But also, I don't like that. I'm gonna put that. No, I'm putting that under hate. I don't like that. That doesn't even make any sense. These characters barely interact. The only thing they have in common is that they're both the masters.
But no, back to what Wake Wind said. Kingdom Hearts just doesn't know how to write romance at all.
Wait, here, you have that discussion. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Don't leave any dead air, Angelina. I swear. If I come back and watch the recording and I see that you were silent for even 1 second, I will go there and tell you.
No, let me go ahead and put my YouTuber voice on. When I think back at all, like Kingdom Hearts as a whole, and you see like all of these moments, like like with Sora and with Kairi, and you know they kind of like each other, but there's also Riku, but like it goes nowhere. And you have like even in Kingdom Hearts 2 where you have like these slight hints at like, oh, these two characters, they really care for each other. So it's the most infuriating with Kairi and Sora, because like what are they doing? You're like how many games into the series and like nothing, but like they can't even like make up their mind, like either keep them as friends or stop hinting for so many games that like, oh, there might be something between these two characters. And it's just stupid, dude. Like I could give like less of a shit about every other chip in the game, to be honest. I think that like whatever, like you don't really see like too much of like these really like in the game, like sure Riku and Namine, like, and that's still like they don't really make sense. But with Sora and Kairi, there's like no excuse. Like why? I don't get it. And it is kind of hard talking to myself because I know I'm here and I don't even know how many people are in. Oh, there's 6 people watching? Hello. Oh, now there are 4. They all left because but no, yeah, it doesn't really make any sense. So they need to make up their mind. And I bet you 100% we're still gonna have nothing in Kingdom Hearts 4 because Kingdom Hearts 4 is probably gonna suck. Anyways, before Diego gets back, I am gonna look at some of these other ships. I mean, I feel like Riku kind of. I'll probably wait. Let me see. Yeah, honestly, yeah, honestly, you can tell very opposed because of even Sora and Kairi, none of them even utter "I love you" to each other. It should be the bare minimum, yet they never do it. No, yeah, or like
bunch of losers.
Do they even like flirt though?
No, they don't.
No, yeah, they just do very like weird things, like Kairi running and giving Sora a hug, and then very awkwardly like hugging each other.
Gave a bigger hug to Riku.
Yeah.
Which is why.
That actually brings my point. Oh, shut up. Riku and Kairi. I feel like Riku low-key cares more about Kairi than Sora.
I don't know about that. I mean, in Cage 1, maybe. I feel like in Cage 3, though, like, I don't think that Kairi and Riku even exchange a single line.
That's true, actually, that's true. Like, they don't even really talk. Actually, to cut away from the tier list, there's, like... Have we gotten any good moments with them as a trio since Kingdom Hearts 2?
No. End of Cage 2 was, like, the best.
Like, we get moments with, like, Aqua, Ven, and Terra, or whatever, Axel, and, Shion, and, fucking... Roxas, which those moments were actually pretty.
No, it's not very ladylike to curse, Angelina.
Okay, whatever. But it's so sad because in Kingdom Hearts 3 we get like
There's that
Nothing.
scene where they're like in the beach and like these two are like sharing the papu fruit and they look over and Riku's like over there on the ground by himself. But that's about it.
Talking.
Which sucks because like they're supposed to be friends. I don't even think that like Riku and Sora get like that many good moments at KH3. It's just this. Again, this is why I didn't put Riku at the top of my list because like I feel like he was kind of didn't really do much at KH3 in my opinion.
He got a haircut.
He did get a haircut, so this is why Riku and Kairi I'm putting them and like dislike them.
Yeah.
Probably less than Roxas Shion though. Let's see. Next up, so we got Aiza and Lee, Axel, Sayax. I feel like neutral, maybe more than Naminé and Sora.
Oh no, you think that Kingdom would be the game for Sora, Kairi, and Riku trio, but literally no.
Three remain basically nothing, so it's like, what's the point? Like, these guys are actually friends, or yeah. I feel like a lot of the times, like, you're just supposed to like, oh, they're friends because we say that they are. Like, we never really.
They were friends in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. Like, you noticed that they were friends.
No, I know. Especially in KH2, I feel like they do a lot of really cool stuff at the end of the game. With them, but like I was mostly talking about like Birth by Sleep Trio, where it's like, and they're friends. Why? Because well, we said that they're friends, but like there's like one flashback of them like hanging out together.
Awkward laughing when watching a movie yourself.
Yeah. So, all right, here let's just see. Sora Roxas and Naminé Kairi, isn't that like the same person?
Yep.
I'm gonna put that under dislike because they're the same person. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
And same with Ventus and Venus, actually.
That's even more so.
That they're more so the same person. Yeah, literally.
It is pouring outside here.
Really?
In California. Yeah.
Hope you don't get disconnected.
I think I'll be fine. I mean, I don't think the hurricane is gonna be too close to where I am, but like, it's still like, oh my god. Once again, very happy that I got out of work because I would still be at work for like another 2 hours.
Yeah, jeez. Okay, I feel like all of these are like meh, honestly. You have Riku and Roxas, which like neutral.
Gula and Ava.
Gula and Ava, like I just don't even like either of those two characters. I'll just dislike them, but like I actually dislike them. Okay, hate. We'll put it under hate. Xehanort and Ericus, I mean, neutral also.
Nah, that's Supreme OTP right there.
I'll put it under. Really? You know what? Young Xehanort and Ericus, maybe.
Because they were just like two bros.
I know, bro. Yeah, okay, fine.
Chilling in a hot tub.
Okay. Terra and Aqua, I don't see it at all. I don't even think that they like each other that much, like as people, honestly.
No.
I'll put hate them.
Definitely below Shion and Roxas.
For sure. No, here, I'll make a new tier below this one.
Does not make sense.
No. Just called literally the same person. There we go. Axel and Larxene, I mean, and then Marluxia and Larxene. Marluxia and Larxene I could see more.
Yeah, because they at least knew each other when they were in like Union Cross.
Maybe I'm moving this one up. Like
and
that.
They talked in Kingdom Hearts.
This one I'm gonna say no briefly. And then Axel and Larxene I'll put under dislike. Maybe at the like here. I don't know. This one's kinda meh, honestly.
Yeah.
All over the place.
It just shows how bad Kingdom Hearts 3's Kingdom Hearts' relationship writing is.
Yeah. Alright. Well, here. Since Jake had to leave, then I'll go ahead and I'm not gonna do the worlds just because that's gonna take too long. So you want to just play some KH2?
Yes.
All right.